Howdy, howdy.
Well, we decided to go ahead and do a quick little E3 wrap-up in this manner because it'd be easy and fast.
Yeah, we're kind of pressed for time here, so we're taking the old Review Tech USA approach and basically just going to have some gameplay footage, which Resident Evil is very apparent considering the announcement.
Exactly.
Resident Evil 2.
And so on. Oh.
Okay. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
All right. So, just doing a really quick wrap-up here.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about some of the big topics from E3 2018. I know we're very late doing this, but, you know, life gets in the way, so here we are. Just going to give our thoughts and opinions, and of course, we always welcome your feedback in the comment section, and tell us what you think. Oh, and by the way, being that this will be the first ever Game Continuum video that I am featured in, I'm Marcus. I'm the other guy involved with the Game Continuum. I've always wanted to be in one of these videos, but Charlie
there's tons of time constraints and so on.
likes to do these things impromptu when I'm unavailable.
It happens. We're getting better at these video thingies slightly.
Yeah.
So we're trying.
Yeah. So you know we're gonna go with our forefathers here and take the Review Tech USA approach today.
Do a little bit of live gameplay here.
Yeah.
One of the exciting things was Resident Evil 2. That's why we're playing around with Resident Evil right now. So.
Yep.
That's the good thing, and also there was a couple other things I enjoyed, like Valkyria 4. There was really good games. My only disappointment out of all of E3 was EA.
Yeah, and it's pretty safe to say that EA was everybody's disappointment. I mean. Yeah. You know, the only game that anybody seemed to take any real interest in was Anthem.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Anthem, you know, looks like it's going to be a good game.
My worry is it's going to be on rails.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, they really didn't show enough of it to know where it's going to be at as far as gameplay. The jury is still out, as they say.
Exactly.
Your thoughts on it?
I kind of did a little day one video where I pretty much, my concern is that if it's on rails and not an open world, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. You know, I don't know. I think in this day and age, with all these open world games, I mean, you got open world shooters now, you know, and basically the precedent has been set to where if you're going to do a game with that type of subject matter, everybody pretty much expects it to be some sort of open world experience. You know, it's not saying that you can't do a good game on rails anymore. I mean, you absolutely can.
Yeah,
but
you just don't expect it from EA.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I'll give you that.
You kind of think, you know, they have enough budget power and they have, you know, enough talent to go ahead and do that kind of stuff. Rails, you know, a game on Rails is like small studio. You know, this is run type of a game in a series.
Yeah, this is like your first big game or something like that.
Or, you know, a totally new IP.
Right.
Which, you know, Anthem falls into. But, you know, I don't know. I just hope it's really a big, expansive world. It kind of looks like it would be good. Mm-hmm. What it really reminds me of is Gun Valkyrie. If you ever played Gun Valkyrie by Smilebit for the original Xbox, that's what it really does remind me of. But and there's a couple other things too, like you know, I liked Valkyria because of the simple fact that you know, I really enjoyed the first game on the PS3, and I have it for the PS4 also, the remastered version of it. And it's just been a really good series. And I hope it is, you know, it's going to be really good. From the videos I've seen of it, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It does look awesome. So I'm really excited for that one. As far as like other ones I'm excited for, you know, I'm excited for Resident Evil 2.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I think everybody is.
Pretty much everybody's excited for Resident Evil 2. I mean,
yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I mean, before they even like started talking, or you know, before they showed any characters, it's like I already had a feeling like, okay, this is Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil something. And then, of course, once they showed more of the detail, and you got to see like the Raccoon City sign, and then they showed Leon Kennedy, and I was like, okay, it's Resident Evil 2. And they're bringing it back.
They're bringing it back.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, Resident Evil 2 is most people's favorite in the series.
Yeah, it's everybody's favorite. Like what you're seeing now is, you know, 1, and this is like the remastered version of it, you know. Right. But it's just, you know, to have 2 in that same manner, it's going to be exciting, I think.
Yeah, and you know, the nice thing is, of course, you know, it's 2018, so the technology is leaps and pounds above what it was in 1997, 98. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a lot more they can do now.
Exactly.
Now, my question is, and I'm not sure if this has been announced or confirmed or whatever, is it going to be more like a third-person shooter type game, where it's like a total rebuild, a whole new engine, or is it going to be the exact same experience it was back on the PlayStation?
I think they're going to go with the same exact experience, because one thing I think they learned, especially in like this re-release of the original Resident Evil, people loved it.
Yeah.
And I think what I hope they do is they just do a better version of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, is it going to still be tank controls, or is it going to be like literally free 3D movement?
That would be a nice, interesting twist if they give you like a camera tilt up.
Now, I think that's what I was really trying to say.
Yeah.
Is it going to be tank controls, or is it going to be like full 3D game engine, move anywhere, any way you want?
Yeah. I would like it if they actually did do something like that, where, you know, even if they didn't give you that much freedom in the camera, just give you a little bit of freedom to tilt the camera up, down, left, and right. You know,
right.
Just to make it a little more easier. But I know, like, that's part of the draw of the game is how it's designed originally. So who knows what we'll get.
Well, let's not spend too much time on Resident Evil, because there's a lot to talk about and not a whole lot of time.
Exactly.
We don't want to make this video too long.
No.
Well, what else did you want to talk about?
Oh, well, you know what? I really did like the crossovers. They did do Square Enix and Capcom came together, and you know, Capcom is really big into crossovers. But what I really liked was this Monster Hunter meets Final Fantasy XIV, which is the 2 big online franchises, especially there in Japan. Those are like the two big online. You know, there's no World of Warcraft. That's like a joke over there. Right. Over there, it's you're either FF14 or your Monster Hunter. So that's gonna be interesting to see, like, that little cross.
Yeah, considering how different the two worlds are,
Exactly.
it's going to really be interesting to see how they mix them together.
Yeah, and from what doing like an instance battle where you fight like this, you know, a monster from Monster Hunter, and you can get equipment. And I guess in Monster Hunter World, what they're going to bring over from the Final Fantasy world is Behemoth.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll be able to fight Behemoth, and you're going to get some Final Fantasy gear. So I think that's where the I guess that's where the crossover is, and you're going to have like characters from each of those worlds, you know, interact in that world. So I think that's going to be.
Yeah, it can work.
It'll work.
It can work. I mean,
can work.
Capcom, they've managed to. Okay, we're talking fighting games. Okay, it's kind of easy to kind of make fighting game worlds mesh, but you're talking two different types of RPGs. I mean, okay, you have 14 is open world and all that. And Monster Hunter lends itself well to that formula, just given the type of game that it is. So I can see how they could mesh it together and make it work.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see what elements they take from each game, you know, to make it work together.
To make it really mesh together.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be interesting.
I know you think they'll use Final Fantasy's battle system, or I mean, there's a lot of people who love Monster Hunter and would prefer that battle system. Maybe they can switch between the two. I don't know.
I think if anything, what they'll do is like maybe like the limit break system.
Okay.
Right. Where in Final Fantasy and in Monster Hunter, there's like these two. They have kind of like these super abilities in a way if you build up over time. I think maybe in Final Fantasy that would be interesting to have a Monster Hunter unique style, you know, super ability, while you'll be able to get the, you know, Final Fantasy 14 style limit break, which you know, I think those could work too. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think what they're going to just do is just have big monsters from both worlds crossover, a couple NPC characters, and a bunch of equipment for like quality of life style things for both worlds. I think that's what they're going to do. You know, I don't think they're going to go too overboard with it. It'd be nice if they did.
Hey, you know, well, the sky's the limit. I mean, you know, both of the series have a lot of history to build off of. So, I mean, honestly, they can go anywhere, you know, with how they want to make this game play out. I mean, they could bring elements from older Final Fantasies in. They could even do some of the portable elements from Monster Hunter, you know, from like PSP days into it. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of different directions they could go.
A lot of different directions.
Yeah.
And there's a few other things too that I liked about E3, like Ubisoft. Ubisoft had a really good presentation.
Yeah, Ubisoft. Ubisoft for the third party presentations. Ubisoft was definitely one of the better ones.
For when it comes to third party.
Yeah. I mean, they pretty much showed everything people wanted to see. Out of the blue, surprise. I don't think too many people really expected that, but I mean, hey, it's a franchise they want to build on again. It's their IP.
Exactly. Have at it. Yeah.
But I mean, there were some things in their presentation that, you know, kind of stood out.
I really did enjoy like the Ubisoft presentation. Out of all of the third party presentations. For me, it was hard to decide, did I enjoy Bethesda's or Ubisoft's more?
Yeah, Bethesda's really good.
Yeah, they both were excellent presentations. Yes. They were all about the games. They were about the gamer. They were about, let's get our IPs out there and let's bring you into our world.
Right.
And I really, really did enjoy it. Like I said, the one I didn't enjoy was EA's. It was just kind of like, it was like pulling teeth. I really felt bad for
I'm going to tell you, EA's presentation. That's one I'm glad I watched the highlights of. I don't think I could have sat through that entire thing.
I sat through the entire thing.
Not wanting to pull my eyebrows out.
I wanted to punch myself after a while. It was terrible. You definitely would not want to sit through the EA meeting, and it was like for the investors. They didn't
really
care.
Was.
They didn't
That's
care
a
about
good way to put it.
Yeah, and
that's EA in general nowadays, and everybody knows that. So moving along.
As far as it goes to the big three: the Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. I think honestly, I have to say, Nintendo's was kind of short and sweet.
Yeah, that is until you got to the Smash Brothers section.
Yeah,
which was literally half of their entire presentation.
Exactly, that was very long and drunk out. Which,
not that I have anything against Smash Brothers. I don't have anything against Smash Brothers.
I really liked it.
I mean, I was there playing it when it originally came out on the N64 way back in 1998.
I loved it.
I don't have anything against Smash Brothers, but I really think they spent way too much time on it.
Yes.
I know there are a lot of people who are big into the current Smash Brothers games.
Yes.
And the tournament play and all that. I get it. I do. And I know that's a cash cow right now for Nintendo. But I think most people wanted to see the heavy hitters that have already been announced.
Yes.
Like Metroid Prime 4, for example.
Yes. They
announced it last year, and they didn't say anything about it at all this year, and it's kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah. There was a lot of little things that, I kind of wish there was a little more to the Nintendo one.
Sure.
Yeah, and there was nothing for the 3DS. Nothing for the DS system. Nothing I've seen that, it was just it was a DS drought. It was.
Well, I mean, that's kind of not a surprise. I mean, they've already had, presentations earlier in the year, where they've discussed 3DS stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, there are games still coming for the 3DS, but honestly, most of these Nintendo Directs from here on out are going to be Switch focused.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest here. The 3DS, great as a system as it was, and Lord knows it defied the odds.
Yes.
It's on its way out. Yeah. And it's time for the 3DS to be on its way out.
Yeah, and I'm really sad to actually say that the 3DS is on its way out. But I get it because the Switch is a portable and a home console. I just wish the Switch is just, to me, it's too expensive still for it to be, portable enough that if you can bring it somewhere. I would like it also to be smaller. That's the other thing.
Well, Nintendo's known for making system revisions.
Exactly.
And special editions.
Exactly.
And redesigning systems altogether.
And I pretty much, what I expect in the future, I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to have something that's like the style of the 2DS.
Sure.
Right. The small 2DS that looks like a little cheese wedge. Right. I'm thinking eventually in the future there's going to be a Switch that's going to be just like that. No removable Joy-Cons, just, you could just do that kind of stuff there. And but it'll still be compatible with Joy-Cons, but that's of course sold separately. But it's basically designed to be
basically a more kid-friendly Switch. I can see that.
Yeah, and
that's what you're saying. You're looking for a more kid-friendly system.
Yeah, it's going to be, but not more kid-friendly, but more portable friendly.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, as great as the Switch is, it's just its current form factor is nice, but it's nice for, you know, the person that has a huge budget. That has, you know, that's how I feel. Like I think honestly, the next revision of it, the base should have like a hard drive in it and a bunch of other stuff. You know, I think that would be like really cool to add, but you know, that's not here nor there. I just kind of wish.
Yeah, we're kind of getting off subject here. We need to be talking about E3.
Yeah, I just kind of wish that eventually they'll make a smaller Switch. Well,
yeah, and who knows? That could be next year's E3. They announced a Switch revision.
A Switch Pocket. That's what I want.
Yeah,
a Switch
It
Pocket.
could definitely happen.
A Switch
But
Pocket.
we need to get back to the games. As far as Nintendo is concerned, I mean, Super Mario Party, a lot of people were kind of on it until they announced it's going to have online play. And that really turned a lot of people's opinions of it. I mean, honestly, I was never really a big Mario Party fan.
Yeah, I'm still.
I'm curious.
That's where I'm at.
Now that it's online,
it's curiosity.
It's turned into curiosity for me. So I have a Switch.
Yeah.
And I'm like in the process of trying to build up my library because honestly, I've been neglecting it. I've been playing way more of my PS4, and I've recently picked up an Xbox One X. So, you know, I've been trying to focus on finding games for that. Of course, it's Microsoft, so no exclusives. But, you know, I've been neglecting my Switch, so I have been buying games for it lately and trying to get into it. So honestly, what I'm looking for, I've always been a fan of mainline games like Mario and Metroid and Zelda and all that. So what I'm looking for is more mainline game announcements. So again, that's why the Nintendo presentation was good for what it was. To me, it was a disappointment because I was looking for Metroid Prime 4. You know, I was looking for the heavy hitters like that.
Yeah.
But again, more Nintendo Directs coming this year, I'm sure, probably around Gamescom and
we also have TGS later.
Tokyo Game Show coming up.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll hear a lot more later on.
Exactly.
So, I mean, honestly, with the Nintendo conference, it was definitely...
It was a little light, but
it was definitely
it was
serviceable.
It was good.
I wouldn't say it was a bad conference. It was not a bad conference at all.
No, I would not say it was bad. It was good. It was good for what it was.
Right.
It was like they didn't want to give away the whole store, but they just wanted to show you a taste. It took a little too long on one game, which was Smash.
Right.
But you know, I guess that's what they really wanted to present. And also, they had that tournament at E3.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's half the draw of why they spent half their presentation on it.
And that makes sense because on the show floor, they did tournaments for Smash, they did tournaments for Splatoon 2.
Exactly.
The show floor at E3 this year was really for tournaments when it came to E3.
Yeah.
Their big push was multiplayer because really that's what the Switch is all about.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it's a hybrid portable console, which portables usually tend to be single-player focused.
Yeah.
But the Switch is all about multiplayer, and that's what they wanted to present at E3. Most of their focus was on multiplayer gaming, and that's fine.
Which has never been a strong suit for Nintendo.
That's true.
The multiplayer stuff hasn't been a strong suit for them yet. So I think that was their big push for that. Also, moving on, Sony had it. Honestly, out of the big three, I have to say Sony's conference was probably the better one. I really have to say it. If anybody wants to go out there and say, how would you categorize their conferences? I'm like, I'm gonna have to say Sony number one with a bullet. Nintendo is right behind Sony in that aspect, and I don't know what happened to Microsoft.
Well, before I get to Microsoft, I'm going to elaborate on Sony's conference. A lot of people gave Sony flack. I've read some articles where they said Sony's conference was confusing. The shown were good, but a lot of it didn't make sense because it had like all these random elements.
Yeah,
like where they had like
like
they had these random characters that would segue into another game presentation.
Yeah.
They would come out and play an instrument for like one note.
Yeah.
And then something stupid would happen, and then they move into another game or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the flow of Sony's conference was undoubtedly weird.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that they had come out and play the
weird flute thing.
Yeah, play the flute thing or whatever. I mean,
that was interesting.
That was interesting. I mean, I understand why they did it. They were trying to set up the mood.
Yeah.
For was it Ghost of?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima or Sasami or whatever their name is.
Yeah. But that's another one of those parts that was.
That one made more sense than the other transitions. You know?
Yeah, that made more sense than other transitions, and that made more sense than some of the stuff that other publishers were doing, like EA, where they brought out the champion of Madden.
Right.
Just
who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't say that, but because I know there's a huge audience for Madden, and I understand that. But I mean, I have family that plays nothing but Madden, so I get it. But I mean, really, when you're talking E3, people want to see the whole story.
Exactly.
And they want to see big stories, not just something that's a given every year.
Exactly. And the guy that was playing that flute, it meshed into where they were going. I just wish it wasn't
I'll give him a pass for that.
Yeah, I just wish it wasn't so drug out. Yeah. It was really drug out. So I kind of wish it was a little shorter in that aspect.
Yeah, but as far as the games they showed, I mean, the games, I got to give it to Sony on the games they showed. I mean, you know, of course Resident Evil 2, you know, of course Ghost.
Yes.
Speed me up here, man.
Well, they also had let's see here, the new Kojima style game.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about Death Stranding just yet. That's why I said speed me up. I wanted to save that one. Of course, The Last of Us 2. Of course, The Last of Us 2.
That trailer was very interesting.
Yeah, and of course everybody's talking about the kiss and all that. And, you know, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and if you ever played Last of Us, you would already know that that was already going to happen.
Right.
Especially because if you get The Last of Us, the first one, and you play the little prequel sequence for it, which released on the PS4 and so on, that she was trapped in a mall with a friend of hers, and they were kind of close in a way, but they didn't do anything like, you know, cause, you know, they were
kids at the time, so.
But you could tell that that's where the developer was going to bring that story, because that's going to be something that's going to stick with her character and her past and so on. So that was a good.
So I mean, Last of Us 2. I mean, of course, it's a big game. Everybody's looking forward to it. Me personally, I never actually really played the first one. I dabbled at it, but I've never really gotten into it. That's because it's just way too much stuff to play. So I'm gonna have to go back and give the original Last of Us some actual real time before 2 comes out.
Well, I've played.
I know you played it.
I've played it to death, and it's really good. And like I said, if you're a fan of the first game, and there's people out there talking about that kiss or whatever, obviously these are people that have never played the game, so don't take that.
So just take that for a grain of salt and let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Just let it go. It's either that or it's just people trolling for it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but overall, as far as the game shown, I think Sony had the best games overall. But the presentation was a little weird, and I will give everybody that's commenting that fact of it, I will give
it was bizarre.
It was really bizarre.
It was really bizarre. It made no sense.
No. Okay, do you want to say something else about it?
No, I was going to go ahead and move on to Microsoft.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, Microsoft was more of a straightforward.
Yeah, Microsoft had the classic E3 conference.
Yeah, it was just very straightforward. This is what we have. These are our third parties. But it was like, it was like, okay, we expected all this.
Right.
Where's my wow factor? Are you gonna punch me in the face with something? Because Microsoft, the last few E3s, they've been pretty good at that. They've been pretty good at, like, let's punch you in the face and look, we got a quality of life update. We got some sort of something else change and yada yada. But it was expected and it was very straightforward.
Microsoft's problem, and everybody knew this was going to be a problem for them, is that they still don't have exclusives.
Yeah.
That is Microsoft's problem. Most of Microsoft's presentation was all third-party games, which is to be expected because Microsoft decided to kill off all of their studios over the last 10 years. Now, of course, the big thing with Microsoft this year was announcing that they bought studios.
Yeah.
Where they actually had some good development studios back in the day.
Yes.
But now they're in this rebuilding phase. So basically, Microsoft's conference was all about 2019.
Exactly.
There really wasn't anything to shout about this year.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Forza Horizon 4, which I'm a big Forza fan, but I am more of a Forza Motorsport fan. I've never really gotten into Horizon. I played the first one, I liked it, but I'm more of a straightforward racing game fan. I don't really get into the open world stuff. I mean, I see the appeal of it, but I mean, look, I always wanted to be a race car driver when I grew up. So Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo, games like that are going to be what I gravitate more towards the most. And I will say this. Forza 4 looks really good. Forza Horizon 4 looks really freaking good.
Yeah, and like I said, it was everything you expected. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was no zinger at the at the conference. There was nothing.
There was no really huge, just tear the walls down announcement.
Yeah,
it was as straightforward an E3 conference as you can give.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't really fault Microsoft for it. They just really didn't have a lot to show, and I mean, it's their own doing, but basically this is a rebuilding year for them. And the main thing with Microsoft this year is going to be all about shoring up their support and making sure they can come out strong next year. Yeah. I mean, there really aren't going to be any more major releases this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, as far as exclusives go, and this is something RGT85 pointed out in his video, his E3 wrap-up video, and I completely agree with him. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
That's just the long and short of it. Everybody wins with this E3, no matter what you're into. Exactly. E3 overall was good.
Yeah, it covered all the bases.
Yeah, it covered everything.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, you're not going to see a lot of the really, really big stuff until next year. But
that's expected.
That's expected. And something RGT85 also pointed out was that Nintendo actually had the most exclusives.
Yes.
This is something that a lot of people really didn't see. And I actually did see that as well as I was watching the conference. Nintendo is killing the game right now on exclusives.
Exactly, and that's why I specifically said like I would have to say Sony came in first, but Nintendo was right behind it.
Yeah, I mean they were right
behind it. If Nintendo just had if there was more third-party shit showing for Nintendo, I think they would have went past where Sony was. Like they were right on Sony's heels for that conference.
Yeah, and Nintendo had the most exclusives coming out this year.
Exactly.
So actually 2018 is going to be a big year for the Switch.
Exactly.
Now, unfortunately, they didn't really elaborate too much in 2019.
No.
But I guess that's where maybe later in the year you'll get your Prime announcement and all that.
Yeah.
We'll know better about what's going to happen next year with the Switch.
Yeah.
So just to bring this all to a close, I want to let Charlie give his final thoughts, like maybe a game that he thought was something he's really looking forward to, and then I'll come back with mine.
I'm going to tell you, out of all the games I've seen, now a lot of people are going to say Resident Evil. They're going to say Last of Us. And those are givens. But the one sleeper game that I think people are going to sleep on And the game that I'm going to be most interested in too, because I was really interested in it back in the day, is that Valkyria 4.
Okay.
It's just a strategy style game, and it's really fun. And I'm really hoping that this particular version of the game will have online competitive play, because if they add just that one feature to it, we're gonna see people. You're gonna see, pros come out of the woodwork. Because it's such a unique real-time strategy battle system. So that's going to be really, really nice. And hopefully, like I said, they'll do online or where you could challenge a friend. That would be really great. That's my favorite one that I like.
Now, with me, I'm actually going to go in your direction. I'm going to pick a game that nobody really talked about because it wasn't really talked about at the show, at least not until the very last day, and that was Ace Combat 7.
Yes.
Which is a game that, oh my God, I've been almost salivating for ever since it was announced 2.5 years ago?
Yes.
And it's been delayed I don't know how many times now. Now the trailer that came out this, the last day, all I really went into was a little bit more of the backstory. So we now know that the squadron you're flying for is a penal squadron. You're actually a prisoner kind of flying for your freedom. So it's a different take on the whole mercenary thing that Ace Combat has always been built on. I mean, you always were a mercenary in like every game except for the more recent ones. So it's a little bit of a different take on that. You know that you're basically flying for your freedom. You did something really bad to get you into this prison system, which we don't know yet. And they showed a little bit more of the visual effects, which look freaking awesome. I mean, this game, you're really going to want to have a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X for 7. Because it's really pushing the visuals. I mean, it looks great. Now, there's another game out there that's independently being developed called Project Wingman that looks and feels a lot like Ace Combat. And they're actually trying to have something ready for the end of this year. So they might actually beat, as long as Ace Combat 7 has been in development, they might actually beat Ace Combat to the stores or the download store or whatever you want to call it. It's looking really good. I urge you all to check it out. Again, it's called Project Wingman. It has an Indiegogo right now, I think, and it's doing pretty well. The game is due to have a release demo. Actually, there's a demo out now, but I think they're going to try to release it by, I want to say, November of this year. We still don't have a date yet for Ace Combat 7, and that's what that whole segue was leading to. You got Project Wingman developed by 3 people. It's getting ready to come out before this huge team-developed game, Ace Combat 7, is going to be released. So hopefully we'll see a release date, maybe at TGS this year or Gamescom. Maybe Bandai Namco will finally announce something. So that's the game that really captured me and that I'm really looking forward to. Assetto Corsa Competizione is another one that I'm looking forward to, but I don't want to really get into that because that could be a whole video in itself because it's a racing game and I'll go on a tangent. But anyway, that's pretty much my big thing for this year's E3. Looking forward to TGS now and Gamescom, and hopefully we get a few more announcements.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to myself. And we're just going to end it right here. So, it was a nice little impromptu video. Sorry if there is a little, background noise. We do have an air conditioner running. It's really odd.
It's freaking hot outside right now, so we're sitting up under the AC. So sorry about that noise. But what I do want to say is thank you for having me here finally.
well, you've done some of the other some of our stream videos and so on.
But an actual discussion video.
Discussion video is
right. This is the first, and I've wanted to be in one of these for a while. So
and we're going to do more. We're going to do more in the future, and we also got some new mics and so on. So, like some of the other videos that you have seen
will sound a lot better in the future.
Exactly. So, definitely like, subscribe, follow.
Yes.
Click that little bell.
And if there's anything you want us to discuss in our next video, or anything you want to point out that we might have got factually wrong, whatever, I mean, we are definitely not perfect here.
Exactly.
Please feel free to comment below. We do read all comments, and we actually love hearing from our few subscribers that we have.
Exactly. And of course, let us know what was your favorite takeaway game from E3. We already let you know ours. So let us know what yours is. And
so hey, until next time, I'm Marcus.
I'm Charlie, and we're out.
We're the Game Continuum.
Later on.
Later.